me, your host, Daniel Ehrenberg, and welcome to episode 64 of the franchise with your co-host, HP, the Pops.
On the GSP. HP the what?
The Paps Master.
Yeah. HP on the GSP. And Daniel will be doing episode 64. I will be doing episode 65.
Yeah, I want to talk some more about Resident Evil Afterlife, the X-Men.
We're going to just go back and redo what we did last week. Why not?
No.
We sort of are anyway, so it's kind of fine.
Oh, listen to you, already talking shit about a great movie. All right.
No, not really. No.
Okay. Well, today we're covering Resident Evil Retribution from the year of our Lord 2012, and also Resident Evil, the final chapter from this year, back in January. Get back in the Wayback Machine to Raccoon City. Let's check it out. All right. Paul W.S. Anderson.
When did you start pronouncing words with the second syllable emphasized?
Well, Raccoon City I got from Resident Evil, the final chapter, because Dr. Isaacs is pronouncing it that way all over that movie.
Oh, because he's a Brit.
Yeah.
And then I thought the research was like a Zach Galifianakis reference or something.
No, I've said that for years. I mean...
Oh, because he did.
Research? He says that?
Not that word, but a lot of other words that he makes funny by saying the wrong way.
Well, maybe I'm just funny, Henry.
I've considered that possibility.
Mm-hmm.
Figuring it out, yeah.
All right. Resi 5.
Resi 5. Wrapping up today.
We are wrapping up. It's almost bittersweet.
It is a little bittersweet. I've had a good time with this.
I could watch, although I'm conflicted because I could watch a bunch more Resident Evil movies, but I'm also happy they got to end on their own terms.
Yeah. Now the thing is I don't, will they end? I don't know. I read a lot about. Looks like there's going to be some reboots or some continuations. I don't know.
But
whatever.
This series is over.
Right. Yeah, it's good, and it's fine. It's took them 6, but unlike Die Hard, what I like about these, there's not like a desperation to them. Like. Every time you hear it, once you heard about Die Hard 4 and 5, it was like a desperation to keep it alive. And these were they're being done. They're fun. They're being done for fun.
But we talk about this on the franchise. Like, the reason it feels that way is Resident Evil exists under the umbrella, if you will. Get it? Umbrella Corporation? Of Paul W.S. Anderson. So It's under his watchful eye. And so it's kind of just a continuing series. Whereas most other franchises, because the last one did well, they want to keep them going. And so they have to scramble to come up with an idea. We talked about Die Hard, man. They were always adapting weird books into Die Hard movies and shit.
Yeah. Peter Benchley's Die Hard.
Yeah, man. That doesn't work.
No, and that's why these are fun, because you can kind of feel that they're all just having fun. They're taking their time with it, but there's no desperation to it, which I like. Yeah.
No, it's just next in the series.
Exactly.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
And you could keep it going after 6. You could do like Better Call Wesker.
Yeah, for sure. I could see that's a good title.
Yeah.
Wesker kind of even looks like who's the guy in Better Call Saul with the blonde hair, the lawyer, the McKean's partner.
Yeah, sure, that guy.
Hamlin. Is that his name?
Sure.
Sure it is. It's Harry Hamlin.
I don't know character names anymore. That's what I've learned in peak TV with all the TV that I watch now. Mm-hmm. Like I used to be able to keep up with character names and even episode titles sometimes.
Well, you still do episode titles, do you not?
No, man. With these new shows, I can't do that shit.
Yeah.
Mad Men's my favorite show of all time. I only know a handful of episode titles.
Oh, I don't. Boy, I don't know if I could name you one.
You couldn't come up with one Mad Men episode title?
Okay, there's an episode called 30?
30? That's The Wire.
No, but I think there's a Mad Men episode called 30.
I don't believe so.
You could be right.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like I saw that recently in some superhero account I was looking at because somebody was in an episode and I accidentally saw the title of one of them. I don't know. Could you come up with a Mad Men episode?
Yeah, of course. There's one.
Really?
There's one called "Shut the Door, Have a Seat." There's one called "The Gold Violin." There's one called, I'm blanking now. The first episode's called "Smoke Gets in Your Eyes."
Yeah.
No,
I'm not good at that.
Yeah, there's a bunch.
I could probably do Breaking Bad more than I could.
There's one called "The Jet Set." I remember that.
You're good.
Yeah.
I don't remember any of those.
But
man.
I can tell you every episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer in order right now, and that's just because back then there were fewer TV shows to care about.
Right. Yeah. True.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've noticed that when I say right, it's kind of like I'm Harry Dean Stanton's character in Alien. Remember how she says, "Do you know that you say everything Parker says, you say right?" And he goes, "Right. Right." I do that a lot.
Henry, are you expecting me to know a reference to a movie?
That we covered? I thought so, maybe.
No.
Wow. Blanking. No references, no episode titles, no characters.
That's right, baby. But I can tell you that Season 6, Episode 19 of Buffy the Vampire Slayer is called Seeing Red, and it's written by the great writer Stephen S. Tonight.
Jesus Christ.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I'm like that with certain directors. I could tell you, like, you name something, I might be able to tell you who wrote the music, or sometimes if it's something really special, I might even be able to tell you the cinematographer.
Movies is different. Movies is very specific. I can do movies, but yeah, TV, there's just too much TV out there. Too much.
Well, you didn't get my Office Space reference right when we started.
That was off air.
Right.
Stop referencing off-air stuff.
But you didn't get it.
No, I didn't.
And then you asked me, did I just watch it? And I
no,
said,
references I'm bad at, but I know facts. I can tell you that Mike Judge wrote and directed that movie, and
yeah, of course,
stuff like that.
Yeah, got it.
Resident Evil Retribution.
Yeah.
Hey, baby, it was written by Paul W.S. Anderson. Released in that sweet, sweet September slot. September 14th, 2012.
Yeah.
Did I say this already?
No.
Okay, good. It came in with a budget of $65 million. Box office of $240.2 million.
Yeah. Domestic.
Domestically, it came in at number 79 at the box office with $42 million. Yep.
Excellent. I love the consistency of this.
It's a failure domestically.
Yeah. It is one of the most reassuring facts in the world today, because there aren't many, that Resident Evil always flops here and always does well overseas. I love it.
Well, yeah, that it's there as a fact. And, of course, Antifa and Nazis are comparable.
Right, that's also a fact. These hurricanes aren't being caused by any sort of climate change. That's a fact.
Stop. All right, I shouldn't have gone political.
You started it.
I did start it. Okay.
I can go all day on that.
Comes in at number 79. Between. Check out what it's between. It did slightly better than The Cabin in the Woods.
Oh.
Which,
all right.
Why didn't more people see The Cabin in the Woods?
I know. No, I didn't either until later.
I forced you to.
That was a great choice. Yeah.
Thank you. And it did slightly worse than Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace, re-release in 3D.
Well, I'm glad that did very poorly.
Well, but still, a terrible movie that came out like 13 years previously. That's still pretty good.
Yeah, I know. It's funny. Oh Lord, people went to see that.
Star Wars nerds be Star Wars nerds.
Jesus Christ. Ugh.
Henry, do you want to do our top 10 movies of 2012?
I sure do. And I'm throwing in honorable mentions too. I don't care.
I've got a couple honorables.
I'm doing them first. How about that? I'm going to do the HMs first before I read my top 10.
Hit me.
All right. This is 40.
Yeah.
End of Watch.
Mm-hmm.
Rampart.
Mm-hmm.
Amour.
Mm-hmm.
Cabin in the Woods.
Mm-hmm. This is too many.
Yep. And Your Sister's Sister.
Okay, well, my honorable mentions are Your Sister's Sister and The Dark Knight Rises. That's it.
Whoa, The Dark Knight Rises didn't make your top 10?
Not quite.
I'm surprised.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I know you do.
I will say those are the only movies I liked in 2012, though. This was not a difficult list to make. 2012 was a shitty year for movies.
I wouldn't go that far, but it wasn't the hardest list to make. I didn't think it was a shitty year. I had more, but I mean, my honorable mentions could have probably all 6 of the ones I said could have been in my top 10, which makes it really 16 great movies that year. But anyway.
Okay.
All right. So number 10, 2012, Django Unchained.
My number 10 is Steven Soderbergh's Magic Mike.
Never saw it.
Mm-hmm. We'll do it for
number 9. Yeah, number 9, Flight.
My number 9 is Killing Them Softly.
Good choice.
Mm-hmm.
My number 8 is Silver Linings Playbook.
My number 8 is This Is 40.
Yeah. My number 7 is Smashed.
What's Smashed?
A movie with Mary Elizabeth Winstead and Aaron Paul about the alcoholic.
Henry, we have reached the first time on this podcast that you have referenced a movie I've never heard of.
Really? I thought we talked about this movie.
I don't recall this at all.
I could have sworn we discussed it when I saw it years ago. Oh, it's superb.
Okay.
I highly recommend it.
That was number 7?
Smashed. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
My number 7.
Wow.
I wonder if I'd judge it harshly now that I am one.
I don't know, but I thought it was pretty fucking good.
I have a hard time now watching anything with AA meetings in them because they're always stupid.
Yeah. Well, it's not 28 Days. Let's put it that way.
28 Days. That's probably a terrible movie to watch.
Yeah, that's awful. Yeah.
Number 7 for me is Django Unchained.
All right. Number 6 for me is The Dark Knight Rises.
My number 6 is Wes Anderson's Moonrise Kingdom.
Ugh.
Yeah. I thought that was a bit of a comeback for him.
No, I considered that comeback the Budapest thing.
Oh, the Grand Budapest Hotel. I thought that continued the comeback started by Moonrise Kingdom.
Not by me. All right, number 5, Killing Them Softly.
My number 5 is Richard Linklater's Bernie.
Oh, that was a very good movie.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot about that. Yeah. My number 4 is Prometheus.
Of course it is. Okay, my number 4 is Michael Haneke's Amour.
Oh, look at you throwing in rare arty French film.
I have arty French. If you go back to my list from the 70s, it's all arty French films.
Oh yeah, sure. But I mean, I don't remember in recent years you putting stuff like that on there.
Michael Haneke is often an exception for me. I'm a big fan.
Yeah, he's great. You're gonna love 2 of my top 3, I'm sure. Number 3, Skyfall.
Oh, Henry. I didn't even consider that.
Yeah, well, you wouldn't.
All right. My number 3 is The Cabin in the Woods.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My number 2 film of that year is The Master.
Okay. My number 2 is Zero Dark 30.
Yeah, I've always had a strange relationship with that movie. I do think it's great, but didn't make my top 10.
I love it.
Can't. Yeah.
I think it's riveting.
Yeah.
It rivets me.
It rivets you. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, you have a lot of movies on our lists are not really congruent at all. I think we have like 2 of the same movies.
Yeah, it's weird.
And you sure as shit didn't put my number 1 on your list anywhere, which is Lincoln.
Yeah, man. That part at the end when it fades to a burning candle in the wind.
Look at you.
Oh, what a POS.
Okay. Right.
Lincoln.
Yeah, great movie.
You love that great Sally Field performance.
I do. I love everything about that movie.
Mm-hmm. You like at the beginning when those 2 black soldiers repeat the Emancipation Proclamation at him?
I do. I don't think that it's not that they're repeating, you history fool.
A fool that has only seen that movie once, more like.
Yeah, they're reciting the Gettysburg Address.
Oh, that makes more sense.
I don't know if anyone could recite word for word the Emancipation Proclamation. It's rather long. Okay, your number 1 is The Master.
I don't know the Emancipation Proclamation. I don't listen to hip-hop. That's a line from the South Park movie.
Oh, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, your number 1's The Master.
Yeah. My number 1's The Master.
Yeah. So we have 3 movies in common on that list.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Boy, and some of those ones I named weren't even in your honorables.
That's right, baby.
And you haven't even seen some of my honorable mentions.
I wrote down Argo, too. That would have been my number 13.
Nah.
Oh, Argo, fuck yourself.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck yourself. Fuck you.
Fuck you.
Hugh.
Yeah.
This is the second time I've done that. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with that. All right, Retribution. Let's do this.
Yeah.
Coming a mere 2 years after Afterlife. I get the titles mixed up.
No shit.
Yeah. Starting with a pretty cool backwards action sequence.
Yeah, I guess it was cool. Yeah. It was short, so that's what saved it. It was because it's one of those things where as soon as they start with the events on the Arcadia going in reverse, I was a little nervous. I didn't want that to go on too long because I knew we'd be seeing it in forward motion.
Well, forward motion, it's backwards in slow motion, and then I didn't know we'd be seeing it in forward motion necessarily, and the forward motion thankfully went real quick.
Yeah, it did. Yeah,
I think the backward stuff is pretty baller.
Yeah, it was cool. I feel like it wasn't the most original idea, but it was cool. Yeah.
We're still in 3D, by the way.
It was, yeah, of course. I was ignoring that, though. For some reason, this one was a little easier for me to ignore than the first one they did in 3D. I thought it was less in my face, so to speak. Yeah.
I think that's true. I think when Afterlife came out, that was really like peak 3D. It was like right on the heels of fucking Avatar. And and that was when like everything was 3D. We just talked about this, like 2012. I had The Cabin in the Woods on my list. Mm-hmm. And do you remember they didn't shoot The Cabin in the Woods in 3D, and it was set to come out in January of 2011. And the studios were so high on 3D at the time that they had it converted to 3D, and it took so long that it didn't come out until 2012.
Wow, I did not know that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a highly anticipated movie for me, so it drove me fucking nuts because I didn't want to see it in 3D anyway.
Right, yeah. No, I can see that now that you say it. There's a lot of stuff in there that comes right at you, so that makes sense. But
well, no, there's not, because in Cabin in the Woods, they didn't shoot it for 3D.
No, I know, but I'm talking about like at the end with the like apocalyptic things flying around and the monsters emerging. You know, I could see where they would want to turn that into something like that, but it didn't matter.
It's a real
totally
spectacle.
Unnecessary. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I love that movie because it's literally the end of the world. Not many movies have the balls to just go all the way out there and just call it the end of the world. It's over.
Especially a great horror movie like that.
Right.
Which, like most horror movies, just immediately set it up so you can make like 12 more of them.
That's right. And there's always maybe like a hope for humanity. Or if it's dismal, which is very in fashion, it's just a microcosm of the story you're seeing. This is literally the end of the entire universe.
Spoilers for The Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, well, you know, it's fucking 5 years old, people. So
get on it.
Yeah. I should mention briefly, since I ignored it, the first 4 movies, the director of photography for this movie.
Oh, okay.
Said last week I would acknowledge him. There's not much to acknowledge. He did Afterlife, Retribution, and the final chapter.
Oh.
His name is... Yeah. His name is Glenn McPherson. He's a Canadian. His favorite color is red. And he, aside from these 3, doesn't have he has a filmography, not that much to talk about. He did Pompeii.
Oh, so he's a WS guy.
Yeah, he did Rambo, the reboot.
Great movie.
I didn't see it. Yeah. And he did Trick or Treat, which I liked. Remember that horror movie?
Yeah, I skipped it. That was another movie that I wanted to see it first, and they pushed the release date back like 3 times until I didn't care anymore. It's
good. You should see it. Yeah. So that's what I got on Glenn McPherson. That's not much to say.
His name is
But he's
Glenn.
a working... Glenn. Yeah, he died a fake death with zombies and then came back and no one cared.
And then died a real death.
Died a real gruesome death. Yeah.
Who cares?
I know.
Glenn. All right.
Your most hated character on that show, no?
Certainly not.
No?
No.
Oh, okay.
There's
just
so much worse. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I agree. I liked Glenn.
I just hadn't cared about him since like season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We're talking about The Walking Dead.
Walking Dead. Yeah. It's apropos. It's zombies. No,
For
the worst character on The Walking Dead is what's her face? The one that has been on the show for like 5 seasons and I still don't know her name. Rosita. Anytime Rosita's on screen, I gotta remind myself to stay awake.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah,
it's true.
All right.
Previously on Resident Evil, we get that for a long time, and then much like Extinction, they want to throw you off the scent of what's going on. So we get it seems like it's a different reality.
Right.
And Alice wakes up in a suburban household. She has a daughter, I think, and her husband is Oded Fehr. So thank God he's back in this reality.
Yeah, I was real disappointed to see that.
I would have taken any other actor. I would have taken James Purefoy.
It would have made just as much sense. Why not?
It would have made more sense, actually, because didn't she like...
Sure.
They like there are pictures of them being together, right?
Well, they were an item. So if you're really going to go back to her, original incarnation, you could have easily put him in there, sure. But he's off busy doing what, I don't know.
He was probably doing The Following.
Yeah.
Talking about Edgar Allan Poe all day.
Quoth and Ravens and
Nevermore.
Yeah.
Okay. So what this is basically, it reminds me of the Lost Flash Sideways universe. Now, Henry won't know about this because he dropped Lost in season 3.
Correct.
The best season of Lost. And, but in season 6 of Lost, they stopped doing the flash forwards and the flashbacks. They started doing a thing called the flash sideways. And that was a big mystery. You'd get all the lost people in like the real world, and we didn't know when it took place or why or how. And they'd be in like suburban areas, and they'd be acting a little different. Jack had a son, and it was very confusing. And that's kind of what this is. It's just like Lost flash sideways. It's season 6 of Lost is Resident Evil 5.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I take your word for it.
Thanks, bro. So then what happens? Like the zombie outbreak happens in the suburban community?
Yeah, we see Michelle Rodriguez again.
Everyone's back in this movie. It's like Resident Evil Reunion. That's what it should have been called.
Yeah. And everyone's running around trying to escape zombies in suburbia. And then
it's very World War Z. That's what it reminded me of.
Yeah, definitely. And then we just pretty much go into the real Alice world, right? She's in an underground facility being interrogated by Miss Valentine.
Oh, yeah. And we get the laser hallway. She gets out of there.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, Jill Valentine, she gets, like, shut down by a mysterious Asian lady, right?
Right.
The most boring character in this movie. She might as well be Rosita, as far as I'm interested.
She was all right. I don't care. I mean,
what's her name? Li Bingbing?
Yeah, the actress. Yeah, I think so.
And, she's only there. You'll notice the cast in the last, 3 movies getting much more diverse.
Ah, yes.
And it's because they realize the movies do better overseas. So if, their biggest audience is in China, well, let's pop some Chinese characters in the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Good point.
Yeah, and that's fair. I like it.
Yeah, sure.
But this character is kind of boring.
Yeah. I want to throw out a shout out to whoever was the production designer. I thought the design on this movie was really good. Some of the best yet. I thought that when she was being interrogated with that sort of tower of white light that she's stuck in that cell.
Sure. And the floor is sort of like an illuminated Umbrella Corporation logo.
Yeah, I really like that.
It did look good.
I always admire when even in a sci-fi thing where you can't really tell what's actually being shot and what's CGI'd, but even when filmmakers are using a lot of light and artificial or otherwise and make it, you can't really hide anything, so you have to be a little bit more inventive about the surroundings, and I really dug that. I don't know if he got that from the video game or from his own head or whoever, but I really dug it. I dug the set design throughout the movie because they basically recreate different cities.
I think it's a little bit of a WS thing where they're brighter movies than most zombie horror movies that you see.
Right, which was funny because I actually read a positive review
hey!
of Final Chapter, and one of the negatives, I think it was Glenn Kenny, he gave it a positive review, but he did say how it's too dark.
I kind of agree with that criticism, and we'll get to Final Chapter, but I think that's because WS had it in his head he wanted the last one to be a little more gritty and real, and and I think that's not quite what Resident Evil is. I think the 6th one looked a little bit more like something like The Walking Dead, where that's fine for The Walking Dead, but it's a little too familiar for this series.
Yeah.
But I understand why he did it. Resident Evil Retribution is fucking off the rails. Not in a bad way.
Right.
But yeah, there's, so she ends up in Tokyo at sort of the point of outbreak, where from the beginning of Part 4, Afterlife.
Right.
Remember you said you don't understand how that fit in and shit?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It fits in right here. A movie later.
And then we're pretty much all of a sudden we're supposed to believe that Wesker's a good guy and the Red Queen is now a bad guy, and a little hard to believe that Alice was so quick to trust this, but gotta forgive it, I guess. In another movie, I would never forgive it, but I actually wrote it down. I was like, during the movie, like right when it happened, I was like, boy, Alice is very quick to trust.
Yeah, and, Wesker delivers a lot of exposition to Alice, and it is obnoxious because he's still doing that Hugo Weaving voice. This actor, what's his name? Sean Roberts.
Yeah.
And so I just cannot listen to this guy's stupid fucking voice spouting exposition. It was the worst part of the movie.
He isn't my LVP in this, though.
That's crazy.
Don't worry, he comes back. But.
Okay, listen. So there's a lot of fun action in this movie. I think the action is the best part of the movie. And I don't always feel that way about Resident Evil movies, but the zombie hallway fight is incredible in the laser hallway.
Yeah.
And then, great. My friend, after Tokyo, we get to... And she's in an underground facility, so she's not actually in Tokyo. It's like a computer representation of Tokyo. Then we get to New York, and what do we get, Henry?
We get 2 X-Men.
Oh. You thought 1 X-Man was great? How about 2? I am loving it. It's amazing. Double X-Men fight. And it's not as good a fight sequence as the one in Aftermath.
No.
But
no.
It's still real fun.
They're trying. I mean, they're throwing cabs around and shit. I mean, and then in buses, right? They're hiding in buses. I mean, it's good for sure. But I think one of the reasons it's not as good was that the other fight was just so contained in that hostile-like room, and it was just the 2 of them fighting one guy, and it was just really well done. And this is just way more of a spectacle.
Yeah.
But
it was like, how do we top that last one? It's a little too self-conscious about that.
Right. Yeah.
It's sort of like when they started doing TLC matches in the WWE, and the first one was such a success. They did the second one. That shit was crazy, but it didn't have the same emotion as the first one.
Yeah, the TLC match. The TLC match. It's the tender, loving care.
Tables, ladders, chairs.
T-Baw's left eye.
Chili.
Yeah.
Good call.
Thanks.
I'm impressed.
Temple locks.
Oh, right.
Chaim. Yeah.
What's Chaim?
Chaim.
Ugh. That's racist.
It's L''C. I was referring back to our Jewish references.
Oh, Temple L'Chaim. Yeah.
Yes.
That could be TLC.
Yeah, that's what I said, you genius. Yeah. You were impressed with my TLC and being able to name the 3.
I'm impressed that as a guy closing in on 50, that T-Boz is a member of the TLC band.
Yeah, it was that was sort of my generation. I mean, even though I grew up in the early 50s, I still know.
Do you know that one of TLC is dead?
Yes.
Which one?
Do I know which? All right, Left Eye.
Very good.
Yeah, and T-Boz has some permanent illness too, I think, right?
Does she?
Yeah, nothing, I think, that isn't controlled, but I thought she had like some sort of anemia or something she can't shake. I don't know.
She shouldn't have gone chasing waterfalls.
I guess not. Yeah. She don't want no scrubs.
Were we just going to make references? My favorite TLC song, and it might be an unpopular opinion, I'm not sure, is Red Light Special. I always thought that was a real sexy song.
I don't know if I know it. No.
Yeah.
You want to give a rendition?
Yeah. Give her that red light special all through the night. Yeah.
All right.
It's sexy.
Boy, that was really chilling.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Ugh. All right. I'm gonna go take a quick shower. And
hey, but after New York, we end up in Moscow, and it's at this point that I'm starting to think this movie's reminding me of another movie that I saw recently.
What's that?
Sharknado 5: Global Swarming.
Oh, is that what happens?
They're all over the globe fighting Sharknadoes in that movie. And that's what this is. We're just like traveling around.
Yeah, but we get my favorite aspect of this movie.
What's that?
In that scene, the Russian soldier zombies.
Yeah, those are great.
Oh my God. I've never seen the movie Dead Snow.
Yeah, I thought of Dead Snow. It's an underwhelming film.
I'm sure, but I didn't even see the movie, but I figured, well, we're grabbing something from that. But it's still great.
Yeah. And it's also at this point in the movie I started to wonder whether the Red Queen might be part of the Communist Revolution.
Oh, sure. Sure. That's a great point. Yeah. Hiding that Russian accent. Yeah.
I'm thinking Resident Evil might be a way to convince China that capitalism is the best way to go.
Well, they're all rushing out to see this movie in China, so capitalism is obviously alive and well.
Russian out to see.
Yeah. Ooh. And in China, of course, if they want to take their kids, they only have one.
Yeah, they only have the one to worry about. They already murdered the other two.
Yeah, and you're right. Although, how nice would it be to see a movie in China and you're never going to be bothered by kids coming in to ruin the movie for you, because it's just going to be maybe one. You're not going to have like a litter of children.
A gaggle, yeah.
A gaggle. That's what I was going to say. A gaggle of kids just to ruin, The Conjuring 2.
Yeah, it really is. I remember seeing Scream 4 with a baby, and that drove me up a fucking wall. That's why I don't go to theaters anymore, man.
Oh, I don't blame you, man. I saw a while ago. I saw Annabelle Creation.
Yeah.
And which I shouldn't have done because I should have saved it for our show, but I saw it. And in line, there was a sort of, let's call her, what's the politically correct term? White trash? Okay. And she said to the ticket taker with her 5 or 6 children, she said, 6 for Annabelle Creation. I know I'm a bad parent.
She was right.
And you better believe it.
At least she was self-aware.
Well, yeah, but she did it anyway, and you better believe that those kids were screaming and crying during that whole show.
Yeah. Well, she wanted to see it. That's more important.
That is more important than child rearing.
Right.
Traumatizing them for life. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Speaking of annoying children, Resident Evil Retribution. So she's trolling around with this little girl in this movie, and it sucks.
Which reminded me of Ripley and Newt.
No way! Are you kidding me? I love Newt.
No, I'm saying, but it reminded me of the female heroine having to cart around a little kid the whole time.
Right, I guess that's true, but fucking this kid sucks.
She's deaf. Cut her some slack.
Oh, that makes it even worse, man. She is just signing all over this movie like she's fucking Lord at the VMAs. And
and somehow, this incarnation of Alice knows sign language.
Yeah. If I wanted to watch some fucking sign language, I'd just go watch Switched at Birth. I did for like 4 seasons. Leave me alone.
I'd throw on Children of a Lesser God, That's what I would do.
Matlin, recently unfollowed by all 3 Trump kids.
Unfollowed?
Yeah, they all followed her on Twitter because she was on The Celebrity Apprentice a couple times.
Sure.
And I follow this one Twitter account that tells you every time anyone in the Trump administration likes or follows someone on Twitter. And there was this,
That's great.
There's this great day where like Marley Matlin tweeted something anti-Nazi, which is probably fine, right? But,
I would think so.
But right after that
Not
happened,
cool.
I saw Marley Matlin unfollowed by Eric Trump. Marley Matlin unfollowed by Donald Trump Jr. Marley Matlin unfollowed by Ivanka Trump.
You can't say stuff about Nazis, man.
They gotta support
Jesus,
their
it's the-
daddy's Nazi-loving ways.
Yeah, I mean his and their grandfather, who was a grand wizard of the KKK.
Oh yeah, I always forget.
Did you know that?
Yeah, I did know that.
Yeah.
We don't talk about that
All
enough,
right.
probably.
No, we don't. We have tangents on this show. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you mean we as a collective
We as a
society don't
culture,
even mention.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, never. If Obama's dad was something like that, you better believe.
Yeah.
Hearing all about that shit.
Oh, we used to hear about fucking Obama's priest all the time. Remember that?
Oh yeah. Oh, that was a good one. Yeah. Oh my. Yeah.
Secret Muslim.
His minister.
Yeah.
We can't hear about this fucking douche. All right.
Okay.
That's a rabbit hole.
It sure
All right.
is.
Where are we? So we're in Russia. Then where do we go?
I don't remember.
We are introduced to my LVP at this point.
Who's that?
That's Leon S. Kennedy, one of the strangest character names.
That's from the video game.
It had to be.
Yeah.
That
Leon's
actor
like
sucked.
Leon's a really important character in the video game. I remember, I think he's even in the first two. I think I played as Leon.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's fine. You should have
And that's
stayed
the
on
reason his hair is all stupid and floppy, too, because that's how it is in the video game.
Ugh. Well, that actor sucks.
Who is this actor? I didn't even bother looking him up.
Johan Urb.
Johan?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
He's a Swedish fella?
We're going to look that up right now.
What's he
Swedish
been
wouldn't
in?
have been... I'm checking.
All right.
Yeah. Johan Urb. He's Estonian.
All right.
Yeah. The country of Estonia.
Maybe Estonia really likes these films.
Well, he has credits as a bodyguard in Zoolander.
The first one?
Yeah. He's got a credit as Surfer Dude in 1408.
I saw 1408.
So did I. Obviously a friend of John Cusack because he was in 2012.
Oh, a great film. Would have been on my 2012 list, but it didn't come out that year.
Oh, my God. And then some real movies that I have never heard of. The Hottie and the Naughty.
I've heard of that. That's where Paris Hilton tries to make over this ugly girl.
Okay. And Strictly Sexual.
That I don't know.
Toxic.
That's a Britney Spears song.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
And then a whole bunch of other movies I've never heard of. And then this fucking guy's done a lot of television, I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Royal Pains.
Sure, I remember Royal Pains.
Agent X.
Is that on like Stars or Cinemax or some shit?
Probably. NCIS, Californication.
Californication. It's a pun.
Californication. Yeah, I know. I just read it wrong. All I ever think of when I see that title is that fucking terrible Red Hot Chili Peppers song.
Hey, give the Chili Peppers credit. They fucking sued that TV show, and I think won some money.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Way to go, Ketis.
Yeah. Ketis and Fleetus, they got some money.
I was going to make a flea joke, and you beat me to it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so where are we? Basically, we're running around the world underneath.
Yeah.
And then
in every city, there's a giant GameStop because I guess they were a sponsor of this film.
Yeah, that was funny. I noticed that. How could you not notice that?
There's a lot of buildings falling down, which I like. You know that. And then we get a big liquor, and that's like sort of the main boss of this movie. Giant liquor.
Okay.
And he's got like alien egg sacs. They look like the egg sacs from Aliens.
Yeah, they do. Little too much. And she even breaks the little girl free, just like Ripley does in Newt.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah.
So they get out of there. Now we're on the surface. We're in Alaska. And there's
That's right. I couldn't remember. Yeah.
Yeah, there's a big fight scene. The best part of that is when Rain, Rain is Michelle Rodriguez.
Yeah. The bad Rain, not the good Rain.
Right. We get like an evil version of the Squad from the first movie. So we get evil Michelle Rodriguez and evil Colin Salmon.
Yeah.
I remembered his name this time.
Yeah, good job.
Thanks. And we've got Boris Kodjoe back from the fourth movie. Luther.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he's a good guy. And he's fighting Michelle Rodriguez. Michelle Rodriguez punches him so hard that the camera zooms into his chest and we see his heart stop.
And that's not the only time the camera does that.
No, it is fantastic.
Repeatedly. Yeah.
It reminded me of when that fucking bullet goes through the guy in Three Kings.
That's right. Yeah. A method that David O. Russell never came back to.
Sadly.
I guess he probably could have in Silver Linings Playbook. He could have followed the serotonin levels of Pat when he took his antidepressants or something, but he didn't.
I'd have been into that.
That would have been really interesting. Oh, we also get I liked Barry, that guy who gets scarred on the face and then sacrifices himself before they get to Alaska. Remember that guy?
Who?
No.
Say it again?
His character's name is Barry Burton or some shit. Barry Barton.
Who cares?
Yeah, and he's played by the actor Kevin Durand. And
that guy. Okay, I only know him by his actor name, Kevin Durant from Lost. You might recall him from Lost.
Well, he's got is it Durant?
Durant. Maybe it's Durand. I don't remember.
No, it's a D. So
okay.
A hard D.
Ooh,
he is a good death. He lights a cigar and he gets shot, and his gun flies up into the air. And then comes back to him when you think he's dead. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And unlike Oded Fehr, who lights a joint but has no impact in the death scene because he's a terrible actor, this actor is clearly having fun with this death, and it's much more enjoyable.
Yeah, well, he's a good actor. That's the difference.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. Yeah.
At one point, they fall through the ice, and they're underwater zombies, which I've seen that before, right? What movie has underwater zombies?
Everyone?
No,
I don't know.
It's one of those Romeros. It's one Land of the Dead.
Yeah.
I think Land of the Dead.
I don't know. I don't know if I saw Land of the Dead or not. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure it's been done.
But then, the end of this movie is the best part. It is so off the chains. We see Alice goes to meet Wesker in the fucking Oval Office of the burned out White House, the real White House, and then we're cutting outside the White House. There's a huge zombie war happening, and there's zombie dragons.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't know what's going on, and that's the end of the movie.
Yeah. Big pull away shot, and they're being inundated, and we're thinking, or supposed to think, that Wesker's still a good guy, and they're fighting against the Red Queen, and so we leave them all ready for battle. Very similar to the ending of Afterlife, where we're left with another cliffhanger on a battleship, and this one is the ruins of the White House.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And then the movie ends, and we get this weird EDM song with the guy from the Deftones singing over it.
I turned it off.
I was waiting for a post-credit sequence because we got one in the last movie, but there was not one.
I cheated and checked ahead of time to see if there was one, so I didn't have to worry about it. I didn't want to get stung again.
All right, so Resident Evil Retribution is a crazy movie. It's all over the place. It honestly doesn't have enough of a plot to sustain a movie. It's just an excuse for a series of action sequences.
Yes.
Good. but good. It's sort of like just like a better version of Resident Evil Apocalypse, where it doesn't really add much to the overall plot of the series.
That's a good comparison.
But it's a lot more fun.
It's way better than that one. Yeah. I'm gonna go with 3 stars.
Me too.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My MVP in this actually is, though, you might be surprised, but I really liked a lot of the direction and everything, so I'm going with Wes Anderson. I'm sorry, Paul W.S. Anderson.
I never noticed that. He's got that W.S. there. He's sort of like if Paul Thomas Anderson and Wes Anderson were cloned. They might be Paul Wes Anderson.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. It's a good point.
And this really brings those 2 styles together. So, you just need some more irony, and you could have a Wes Anderson movie. That's all it's lacking.
Yeah. You need to twee these movies up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's my MVP. My
Throw
LVP
Bill
is
Murray in
Leon
there
S.
at some
Kennedy.
point.
Bill Murray in Resident Evil Retribution, and there you go.
That'd be dynamite, by the way. If Leon was played by Bill Murray.
Well, that would have been a clear MVP, but I think that would have also sort of been lost in translation. So,
ugh.
As I formulated that joke, I knew it wasn't good, but I said it anyway.
I made a lost in translation joke on Twitter yesterday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, follow me on Twitter at LowStakesDaniel. It was, I took a screenshot of Bill Murray whispering in Scarlett Johansson's ear at the end of that movie. And I just wrote, Antifa.
How'd that go over? You get any
No
reactions?
one liked it. I'm proud of it, though.
You should be. I think it's funny.
Thank you.
Yeah.
All right.
Who's your MVP, LVP?
My MVP. I mean, this movie's all look and action choreography. I think I got to go with WS on this one.
Yeah. That's right.
It's a good point. This is probably there's the least requirement for acting in this movie of all of them.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
My LVP is that deaf girl, 100%. Get out of here.
Really bothered you, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't need it.
All right. I got one superhero in here.
I'm ready.
Which is Kevin Durand. He was in X-Men Origins Wolverine as the Blob.
He is in that movie. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, he's got a good voice for it, but they made him fat. It was odd.
Yeah,
he's a svelte fella.
Svelte.
Yeah.
L'chaim. Yeah, so that's Retribution for you.
Love it. Let's move on.
Let's do it.
We're up to the final chapter.
We are.
Written by Paul W.S. Anderson, released just this past year on January 27th. With a budget of $40 million, interestingly a little lower than the last couple.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah. And you did not see this.
No, well, let's talk about that. Resident Evil Retribution comes out in 2012, just 2 years after the previous one. We have to wait 5 years for the next one. Paul W.S. Anderson at one point postponed it to make Pompeii. He really wanted to make that. And Mila Jovovich, at one point, they were about to start filming, and he pregged her up.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. These movies would be a little bit hard to do when you're pregnant, I would think.
Yeah, they had a baby. And that baby plays the Red Queen in the final chapter.
Oh, I did read that, yes.
Yeah. So they come back. I skipped it. I would have seen this movie in theaters, but I was like, well, at some point we'll just do it for the podcast.
Right.
And,
thinking ahead.
So I thought ahead, and we finally got there. We're here right now. I watched this movie for the first time, and here we are. It was released January 27th. We said that. Budget of $40 million. Box office of $312.2 million.
Yeah.
A gigantic hit.
Biggest one yet, right?
Biggest one yet.
Yeah.
Not
domestically.
Domestically, it is currently, so far in 2017, in a bad box office year, only 8 months deep. Mm-hmm. It's at number 53 with $26 million.
Oh, man. The love has just decreased in this country, if anything.
No one cares about this movie here except for me.
Wow.
It's right. It's sandwiched right in between a couple of failures. The House, that Will Ferrell comedy that no one went to see.
Oh my God, I don't even remember that. Okay.
And Kidnap, which I think is that Halle Berry thing that just came out.
That's out now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Oh boy.
I do have for you the top 10 highest grossing movies of 2017 so far.
Oh.
If you want to catch up post summer.
Yeah, and then we made a list of our so far top 10 movies.
Mine's a shit show. Okay. Number 10 is The Boss Baby.
Okay. Oh, I thought you were going to have me guess.
No, because we've done this a few times. Number 9 is Get Out, which I'm happy to see still on the list there.
We actually didn't do this, but that's all right.
We have done this.
2017?
Yes, we've done this. When we did fucking Covenant, Alien Covenant.
Oh, all right. Well, it's changed since then, but that's okay.
It's changed a little bit.
That's okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Number 8's the Lego Batman movie.
Right.
Number 7 is The Fate of the Furious. Number 6 is Logan. Number 5 is Despicable Me 3. This Despicable Me franchise just surpassed Shrek to become the highest grossing animated franchise of all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Number 4 is Spider-Man Homecoming.
All right.
Number 3 is Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Number 2 is Wonder Woman.
Figured that.
And number 1, still Beauty and the Beast.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I would not have guessed that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay, so here's our top 10 favorite films of 2017 so far. And I'll tell you what. I don't go to theaters much, so I'm still in like March or April or something. So this is a pretty shitty list. And I'll say I only really like the first like 5, and I think only one of these movies has a chance at being on my top 10 list at the end of the year.
I think about 3 of mine, maybe 4, have a chance, but we don't know because it's September, and I think there's going to be a lot of good stuff coming out. So.
Yeah. The fall is always the best time.
Yeah, it's tough. So, all right, number 10. Mine is, I believe, was a Netflix original movie with one of my favorite actresses, Noomi Rapace, called "What Happened to Monday."
Oh, okay. I've never heard of it.
She you're going to love the premise right away. She plays 7 different roles.
Well, so it's like Orphan Black.
Yeah, that's what everyone's comparing it to.
Yeah.
I thought it was really, really good. I liked it a lot. Yeah, she's luminescent.
Jesus.
You're listening, Noomi.
Yeah. You love her. Those Prometheus. You love Prometheus.
I love her. We are broadcast in other countries, I think, right? Yeah, we're not just in the United States.
We are, yeah.
We're all over the world.
That's right. So sorry I insulted China earlier, and
oh, we have a laundry list of apologies.
Yeah.
That's okay.
My number 10 is Terrence Malick's Song to Song, and I'm not recommending that movie.
Wow.
It's just my number 10 movie of 2017 so far.
Horrible movie, and that's the first time on a show I've ever said that or to anyone.
I don't think it's a horrible movie. I think it's fine. It's better than his last two.
I didn't even think that. All right, number 9 for me is Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 2.
My number 9 is M. Night Shyamalan's Split.
Yeah, that almost made my list. My number 8 is The Black Coat's Daughter.
My number 8 is Boon Jong-ho's Okja.
You watched that?
Yeah.
Aw. Yeah, it keeps coming up on my screen. I just won't do it.
Yeah, well, it looks stupid. It's got a weird animal in it.
Yeah, The Black Coat's Daughter, I will mention, is by Oz Perkins, Anthony Perkins' son, who is a very, very interesting director. You should look him up, audience. He's a really up-and-coming, interesting horror director, Oz Perkins. Very cool.
Don't support him. He got into the biz easy.
Okay.
My
number 7 is... I can't even remember the word that comes before it. So let's just say the latest Planet of the Apes movie.
War for the Planet of the Apes.
War for the Planet of the Apes, number 7.
My number 7, I'm cheating. It's a TV show. Don't care. It's sort of iffy. It's Wet Hot American Summer 10 years later.
That's bullshit.
I know.
That's real bullshit.
Sorry.
Okay. My number 6 is Logan.
My number 6 is Wilson.
Oh, I heard about that. I didn't see it.
Yeah, with Woody Harrelson.
Oh, right. Okay. My number 5 is Wonder Woman.
My number 5 is Resident Evil, the final chapter.
My number 4 is Get Out.
My number 4 is The Discovery.
That really disappointed me, that movie.
Yeah, me too. It's a bad year. Leave me alone.
My number 3 is Wind River.
My number 3 is Logan.
And I want to mention in Wind River, it stars Scarlet Witch, Hawkeye, and the Punisher.
Superhero account. Yeah, that's that Taylor Sheridan, the fellow who wrote Hell or High Water and Sicario?
Yep, he's 3 for 3, this guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
2.
My 2 is Train Spotting 2.
T2. Okay. We'll cover that. I want to watch that. I've been saving that, actually. I took it off my Netflix queue because I'll just watch it when we do it for the podcast.
Yeah, that will absolutely remain on my top 10. I know that for a fact.
Okay.
Yep.
My number 2 is The Big Sick.
Mm-hmm. All right. And my number 1 movie so far of this year is Dunkirk.
Right, of course. Fucking Nolan. All right, my number 1, the only movie on this list that has a shot at being on my list at the end of the year, I think it probably, almost definitely will, is Get Out.
Yeah, that'll probably be on mine too.
Which I've now watched 3 times, Henry.
That's right. You've seen it multiple times. Wow.
3.
Yeah. That's a lot.
Mm-hmm. That's a lot for me for a lifetime.
Yeah.
So, that movie just came out in like April or some shit.
And I don't want to forget, also, let's not forget to do at the end of this rankings of these movies. We've forgotten to do that in the last few franchises.
I know. We have 6 to deal with. We'll definitely
Right. Yeah, and also, I don't know if you want to do it. I can't do it because I never have seen another one of this ilk, but you probably came up with a list of the best adaptations of video games.
I not only did I come up with a list of the best, because there aren't many good ones, I wrote down every video game adaptation I've ever seen and I ranked them.
Wow! So do you want to wait till the end to do that, or what?
Yeah, we'll wait till the end.
All right, so we'll go right into Resi 6, the final chapter.
No 6.
Sorry, no 6.
There's no numbers involved in the Resident Evil films.
There are for me, because it's very hard to keep track.
So, it's got a very different aesthetic than the rest of the Resident Evil movies, and I think you got to say that straight off the bat. It's a little Mad Maxy like the third one, but it's not done in that stylish Paul W.S. way. It's gritty and real and grounded.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
I liked it too. I like it as the final film in the series. It's a nice change of pace, and it kind of heightens the dramatics. But I wouldn't like it if it was this way in every movie.
All right.
Don't do the Axemen like that.
Yeah. Okay.
Dr. Isaacs is back.
Yes, he sure is.
And he's some kind of messiah now.
Yeah.
He's like leading a crew of zombies.
He's got a big crucifix on him.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
And I think the reason he's back is because we've realized that Wesker is simply not a good enough villain to be your final movie villain.
You think so?
I really do.
And it's probably also because, and I made a note of this, Ian Glenn is he's great.
I agree. So Wesker, played by Sean Roberts, the terrible Sean Roberts, is taking a step back, and he's a bit more of a henchman or a right-hand man character in this movie. And Dr. Isaacs is back for the first time since he was killed as a tyrant in the third movie as the villainous lead.
Yeah, yeah. Which I also just really like because even, especially today in 2017, it's always, I've said this before on the show, not that many times, it doesn't happen that many times, but it's nice when the villain isn't played by some 22-year-old blank slate, like they didn't get Liam Hemsworth to come in and play, they got...
he doesn't play villains.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah,
they got Ian Glenn, man. The guy's like fucking 60, and he's great. And he even has these physical. I don't know, how much of it he's actually doing, but it's great to have an older actor. And they're not trying to be hip or anything. It's just this fucking guy's a good actor, and he's a great villain.
Yeah, he classes up the joint.
He really does.
Yeah. So the idea, we have to get back to Raccoon City. And the Hive from the first movie. It's one of these finales that we're getting real closure. It's like bookending we're trying to do.
Yeah, which is one of the reasons I really liked it, because I even wrote it down in the English parlance of our times. I would have written, there's no fucking around on this one, but it occurred to me it'd be more appropriate for Paul Anderson to say, there's no fucking about in this one.
Oh.
Yes, it goes right into it, and I liked it a lot.
Oh, yeah, right away, Mila Jovovich is fighting a fucking dragon. I hate that there are dragons. I will say that. Yeah,
a little rain of fiery.
No, it's a little Game of Thronesy, and I want to stay as far away from that stupid universe as I can.
Yeah, but they still make the scene kind of cool, but it's not the best action sequence in the film.
Oh, not by a long shot.
No, I saved that one. I wrote that one down.
Okay. So very early on, we return to the amnesia subplot, which we haven't mentioned since like the second movie. That Alice doesn't remember her life prior to the mansion in the first movie.
She doesn't live here anymore.
Jesus. So it's like they're bringing that up early, so you know that's what we're going to be dealing with later on.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We do find out, like, we get big revelations. We cut inside the Hive, where it's a different version of Ian Glenn, of Dr. Isaacs. And he explains to us why this happened. We get flashbacks to the Umbrella Corporation prior to the outbreak, and it seems that the Umbrella wanted to end the world in order to reboot Earth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
A perfect plan for a franchise film.
Definitely.
Right?
Reboot Earth.
Reboot Earth. Go for it.
I'd like to reboot Earth. Yeah, I can see where they're coming from.
Sure.
Yeah. And actually, that's all told to us by the Red Queen, no?
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah. The Red Queen delivering a lot of exposition of this movie. Mila Jovovich and Paul W.S. Anderson's daughter.
Yeah, she's back, and she's good again.
She looks exactly like Mila Jovovich.
Well, see, I didn't know it was their daughter till after, and I was looking stuff up, so I didn't catch that.
But then it turns out to have been like a clone of Alice. So, like, it makes sense that she looks like Mila Jovovich?
Right. Yeah. You know who really looked like Mila Jovovich was the older version of Mila Jovovich.
We'll get there. Oh, my God. Yeah, they pulled a Prometheus.
Not as well, though, in my opinion.
Better.
Oh, come on.
You know I hate old
makeup.
Who was that? No. Who's the old guy in
Guy Pearce.
Guy Pearce. Old Guy Pearce is so much worse.
Old man Pearce.
Old man Pearce sucks. Okay. What else? So I mean, Mila Jovovich hooks up with a new crew of people, and It's a little annoying. I wish we got some older characters. It's a bummer there's no Luther in this movie.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's dead.
Right.
Wentworth Miller is nowhere to be found.
I could have used a lot of Wentworth Miller in this thing.
He's just gone.
Yeah,
never explained, never commented on, assumed dead,
so
I guess.
We pick up after the big White House war.
Right.
So should we assume anyone we don't see died in that battle?
I guess so, because there's one part where crucifix priest Isaacs pulls out that little jar, that little file cabinet of heads, and I assume one of them is Jill Valentine, because he says this is what happened to your friends. And
yeah,
so,
which is fine. But I could have used. Give me Wentworth Miller and give me Kmart in this movie, and I would have been happy.
She's gone. She's dead. Yeah.
But we get a new crew. We get Ruby Rose.
Who is this person?
Okay. Ruby Rose is, I believe, a model. And she was in the 4th season of Orange is the New Black.
Okay.
She had an important role in that season. She was lovers with Piper, the lead, and that's the only thing I've ever seen her in, and she's an Australian person.
I'm seeing that.
I think she's a little bit
she's
like
your age. She's your age exactly.
That's crazy. You know how Olivia Munn got her start, like announcing shit, and then became an actress?
Oh, okay.
I think Ruby Rose took that same route, and she's like maybe the Australian Olivia Munn.
I like Olivia Munn, though.
I do, too. And I didn't mind Ruby Rose on Orange is the New Black. But in this movie...
I don't mind her in this.
Oh,
you don't like her?
In this movie, she's doing an American accent.
Yeah, I didn't catch any Aussie tones. I didn't know she was Australian, though. I didn't know she... Didn't catch... Well, I got to tell you, man, when I don't know they're from somewhere else, unless it is off the charts, which I guess you thought it was... I don't catch it.
I always catch it, and I look up the actor,
Plus,
and I'm always right.
She almost has... She has very little dialogue.
I know, but I caught it right away. She starts talking about her past. She says, "My father worked at a chop shop."
Oh, okay. All right. Some Margot at the wedding action there. All right. I didn't catch it. Huh.
It's bad. Yeah, Margot at the wedding. I've been in New York me whole life. Listen, I will say... I thought Nicole Kidman was good in Big Little Lies. I'm going to give her that one.
I didn't watch that.
It was good. You should watch it.
I should watch. I usually watch all those little HBO miniseries, but I didn't see that.
They're going to come back for a second season. That's how successful it was.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was one of the 4 people who watched all of Kittredge.
Yeah. I didn't, but I only because I didn't like. I don't like what's her face, the director.
Oh,
It was the lady that did The Kids Are All Right.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I didn't like that.
I like that movie.
I'll watch me some HBO miniseries. I loved me some Mildred Pierce.
That was great.
I loved me some John Adams.
That was great too.
Yeah.
You didn't watch The Night Of, though.
No, I skipped Night Of.
You shouldn't have.
I know. I intend to watch that at some point in my life.
You should anyway, right? Because you're trying to see all the Emmy stuff, right?
Yeah, I know. I gotta get on The Crown. It's the only best drama nominee I haven't watched.
Is The Night Of nominated for stuff, isn't it?
Yeah, but miniseries awards.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'll be rooting for fucking Fargo for all those and Big Little Lies.
Sure.
Yeah. All right. So what do we got here? Who are the other actors in this crew? There's the dude.
They're really blank slates, but I appreciated them because they're not bad actors. They're just really I kind of liked. I don't know if it was intentional or not, but Mila really is the focus here, which is how it should be in the final.
Yeah, it's true. Even Ali Larder is around, and she doesn't get that much to do.
Right, and so all the supporting helpers, survivors, are not bad actors, but they're really just, there's no character to them. But I didn't care because they all worked. They were serviceable, which can't be said for all the other movies. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't know. You got Doc.
Who's Doc? What?
Wait, Doc? You know Doc. He's a major... The guy, the heel turn that I saw coming a mile away.
Oh, yeah, me too. Well, that guy is Motorcycle Doctor from The Night Shift.
Okay.
The Night Shift is this summer medical show on, I want to say...
Oh, yeah! It's been on Netflix. Yeah.
I think it's on NBC. And... The art, like the ad for the first season of that show, is legendary because it's just it's all the characters from that show doing something, but they're in like the hospital, and so that character is just like skidding out on a motorcycle in the middle of a fucking hospital, and it's bizarre.
Oh, you know what? I watched that. To see if it was any good. And
why
after,
did you watch that? Of all things.
I turned it off after the exact thing you are speaking of.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was like, I thought this was about medicine.
No, it's about cool motorcycle docs.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
Oh, this guy was also in Killing Jesus.
Oh, is that Bill O'Reilly movie?
Yeah, so I don't like this guy already.
Mm.
All right. Yeah. Oh boy.
He's fine though in this movie, and he's
all right.
He does have a killer heel turn. I mean, listen, Resident Evil movies always better with a heel turn.
I said that a couple weeks ago, or last week.
Yeah.
And now, did you catch his accent? Because apparently he's Irish.
I did a couple times, but it's a lot more consistent than Ruby Rose.
All right.
Mm-hmm. It's not too bad. All right, what else you got in this movie?
Well, the awesome sequence when Mila is on the Alice is on the motorcycle and gets knocked out, and then she's suspended from a bridge, and she's upside down, and these umbrella guys are like repeatedly punching her in the stomach with a gun, and she starts laughing and says, "Is that all you got?" And she dispatches all of them upside down, hanging from a fucking bungee cord. It's awesome.
It is awesome.
I love that fight, and I loved her in it. She's so good in this.
She's so badass.
She's such a badass, and it's just, I mean, if you didn't need confirmation already, it hardly took 6 movies, but that is just a great idea for a fight sequence, and they pull it off, and it's ridiculous, and it's great.
Resident Evil movies also always better when Mila Jovovich is on a bungee cord.
Yeah. That's right. That's not the first time.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I also made a note that just says nail gun, and I guess I was referring to Doc's weapon of choice, which I thought was one of the most ineffectual weapons.
He shoots people with a nail gun.
What are you doing? Why would you pick? That's the weapon that you... I mean, he's got like a canister on his back, so he's like loaded with nails. Very strange.
So most of the movie, they're just breaking into the hive and trying to find Dr. Isaacs, and all that stuff is really great because it's like this dilapidated version of where we were in the first movie, which is always kind of a fun thing when you revisit earlier locations that are now in like a state of disrepair.
Yeah, and also that awesome fortress scene where they're trying to repel Isaacs with those weapons and stuff, the catapults and all that. That's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff. We get Ruby Rose is the first one to die in there.
That is a great scene.
Mm-hmm.
I love that scene.
Yeah, they sneak into the hive through like an air propeller.
Yeah.
And
a turbine.
Yeah, but Isaacs reverses it, so it's pulling them into the wind turbine.
And one of the few moments in any of the Resident Evil movies where the music is very cool.
New composer in this movie, right?
Yes. The Paul Haslinger of Austrian descent of Tangerine Dream.
Really? I didn't realize that. I love Tangerine Dream. Speaking of,
they're great.
Just talked about Manhunter, I think, last week.
And of Risky Business. They write good scores.
I love Tangerine Dream. They're great.
Yeah, they are
talented.
Great. Yeah, so that's a powerful sequence, even though you don't really care about who's dying. It's just shot really well.
Yeah. But Ruby, it's a good death. She gets propellered to death right after giving the camera a sweet flip of the bird.
Yeah, you could hear her accent through that too, right? Did she, instead of flipping the bird, she gives the 2-finger salute?
Yeah, and then when she gets pulled into the propeller, she yells "Crikey!" The other great
eaten by a crook.
Who gets their fingers chopped off and then dies? I love that scene. Someone falls into a trap door.
Oh, one of Isaacs's captives who joins the alliance of Milla's people. Yeah, he falls into a trapdoor
and hangs onto it, and then the trapdoor closes onto his fingers, chops his fingers off, and then he falls like fucking like 20 floors and dies. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. I like those two characters because they're just put in there for cannon fodder. It's great.
So it's around this time we get our explanation of Alice, finally. At long last.
Go for it.
We meet an old version of Alice in a wheelchair. Okay? And this is Alicia Marcus. She's the original Alice. It turns out that the Alice we've been following this whole time is a clone.
Yeah.
And that's why she has amnesia because she never had memories in the first place.
That's right.
Which is kind of a good idea.
Yeah.
So this original Alice was the co-owner of the Umbrella Corporation. She owns 50% of Umbrella. It turns out she's Jared Harris's kid from the second movie.
Right.
Which automatically makes the second movie important all of a sudden, which it super wasn't. And it makes me want to go back and rewatch the second movie.
Yeah, and I think they changed the kid's illness, too.
Yeah, they made it so she had that aging disease. What's it called?
Progeria.
That's right, yeah. And
but in the second one, it wasn't. It was like she was just like crippled or something, right?
She was walking around, though. I mean, I think they changed it, but it's plausibly done.
Yeah. Which is another thing about Milla being a clone the whole time, because really, that could have been really poorly done and been really annoying and been one of those things that I hate, where it's like, oh, for the last fucking 6 movies, I've been watching someone who's not a real person. But it makes sense.
It makes sense, and I like that we have Alicia Marcus, the old Alice, telling her that she's a better version of Alice than she could ever have been, even if
a little syrupy, but yeah.
I enjoyed it, and I think Alice owns her identity for the first time in the movie. I think it almost reminded me of Kill Bill Volume 2 when we learned the bride's real name.
Oh, boy, I don't even remember. Okay.
Beatrix Kiddo.
Okay. Right, okay. Yeah, now, do you think they should have just gotten an older actress to play this? Or,
no, I think it's fine. I think it's totally fine.
Yeah, for our listeners, they put Milla in some makeup.
It's Mila Jovovich in old age makeup. Let's
Yeah.
call a spade a spade. But I mean, look, I think it's better than Guy Pearce in Prometheus. I think it's better than Mandy Moore in This Is Us. It doesn't look that bad.
Mandy Moore in This Is Us. Gee, what a reference.
Oh, yeah, I know. What a stretch to reference one of the highest rated shows on television.
I've never seen it, and I didn't know they aged her.
Yeah, well, she's in the flashbacks. She's young, but she also exists in the present time as an old lady.
I see. No, I just meant of all the things to reference. I thought you know movies.
I'm just talking about recent old age makeup.
Okay, all right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm never really a fan of it, but it's okay. You're right. I mean, it's fine. They don't really overdo it. Like she's not like 1,000 years old.
No,
So,
she's not
yeah.
caked on with makeup. She's still able to deliver a performance.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we get one last fight in the laser hallway. Thank God we get a laser hallway reprise in this film.
Loved it.
I love every second of that. And and that's it. Ian Glenn says, because we're wrapping up a video game series, he says, "We've played a long game, you and I, but now it's over." Ooh, game over.
Yeah, game over, man.
Yeah. So and then you know, we get the antidote. She releases it into the world. The world slowly comes back to normal, but it's still in a state of disrepair from the zombie wars. And you know,
So she lives to fight another day because she's still got work to do.
still got work to do. Still battling dragons.
And she's not dead, which was a thing hanging over the whole movie. That
Because
when they
she's
released-
infected with the T virus.
Right, so keep thinking she's going to die at the end. And so, of course, then they explained that, you know, but of course your body only bonded with the TV. That's some fucking explanation.
Yeah.
Like, all right.
Well, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly, right.
We
yeah.
want her to be alive at the end of the movie, and she is.
Yeah. Right.
And I did like the sequence where we see that giant zombie army of Dr. Isaacs just collapsing one after another.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, well done.
I agree. Well done. All right.
And that's Resident Evil, the final chapter.
We did it.
Very satisfying film.
Yeah. Rating and ranking and MVP, LVP.
I'm giving it a 4.
So am I.
Yeah.
So am I. I'm going MVP, the heart and soul of the Resident Evil.
Of course, you have to.
I'm going with Mila Jovovich.
Me too.
Okay, I thought you might say you have to with Paul W.S.
No,
Anderson.
man. Mila Jovovich is, I think, even more than W.S., the reason these movies work.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. My LVP, we're going back to our old friend Wesker. He's still terrible.
Oh, you know what? Me too. I was going to say Ruby Rose, but you're right. Wesker still sucks, and he sucks so much that he can't even handle being the main villain in this movie.
Nor even a death scene that isn't annoying.
Nope.
Yeah.
He's dispatched with pretty easily, actually.
Yeah, he is, and
Mhm.
he's just terrible. So, you're going with him too?
Yeah.
All right, you want to rank them?
Let's rank them. You want to go backwards to front, 6 to 1 or 1 to 6?
Let's do best to worst.
Okay.
All right, I'm going with the first Resident Evil.
That's still your number 1.
Yep,
Very interesting. It's your first love, that's why.
that's right.
I'm going to go with Resident Evil Afterlife. That's number 4.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
My second favorite Resident Evil movie is the last one, the final chapter.
Final chapter. Okay. My number 2 is Resident Evil Extinction, the third one.
The third one. All right. My third favorite Resident Evil movie is number 4, Afterlife.
Love it. My third favorite is the final chapter.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
My fourth favorite is number 5, Retribution.
My fourth favorite is number 5, Retribution.
Oh,
No, you know what? Fuck it. No, sorry, I'm changing it up. My fourth favorite's the first one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, man. I mean,
Yeah,
come on.
I'm underrating the first one.
Yeah. All right, the fifth best Resident Evil movie is Resident Evil 3. I don't remember the name of it.
Extinction.
Extinction, yes.
My fifth best is Retribution.
Okay. And the least valuable player in the Resident Evil franchise is the second one, Apocalypse.
Resident Evil Apocalypse. So you have the non-WSs just ranked last and second to last.
Oh, I guess I do.
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, well, that says something. There you go. Yeah, yeah.
I think all 6 of these movies are well worth watching, and I think 5 of them are actively good movies.
Mm-hmm. If I were to tell people to watch these, which I would,
I will say, if like 6 seems like a lot, you can skip 2.
Yeah, and what I would have said was, following my rankings, you'd be utterly confused to go just watch the first and the 6th one. But so that wouldn't really work. But
no, it's an intensely serialized series.
Right.
That's one of the things I like about it.
But in terms of rewatching, me personally, I could safely say I would watch the first one again. Definitely. I don't know about the rest. I wouldn't fight watching them, I'm sure, but I would definitely actively watch the first movie again. Yep.
Okay.
For sure. So you want to do your video game?
I will rewatch all 6 of these at some point. I'll say that.
We know that.
Yeah. All right, video game rankings. Ready?
I am.
I didn't include the Resident Evils because they're number 1 through 6. All right?
Yeah, of course.
The Resident Evil movies are the height of video game adaptations, and most video game adaptations are terrible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, other than the Resident Evil movies, I have seen 11 films based on video games.
Wow! And let's full disclosure, I did the same research as Dan. I've seen none.
Yeah.
You've seen 11?
Yeah.
Maybe I missed something, so let's go.
You want me to go 1 to 11 or 11 to 1?
What is this, from best to... Go from worst.
Okay. The worst video game adaptation I've ever seen is Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within. Now, this is an animated film that you may recall at the time in like 2000 when this came out. It had such realistic graphics that they said there were all these articles at the time like, are actors going to become outdated? Like,
I remember that.
Yeah, we're not going to need actors anymore. We can just make movies this way.
I remember that.
No, it looked like shit and it sucked.
Okay. I didn't think that would be your worst one, but go ahead.
That's my worst one. Number 10, I have House of the Dead.
Jeez, still not what I'm thinking. Okay.
All right, now House of the Dead, I will say, I put it here at number 10 because I know I saw it and I can't remember a single thing about it.
That's a good sign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all right.
Number 9, I have Alone in the Dark.
I almost saw that, but didn't. I decided not to.
That has Tara Reid as a scientist.
Maybe that's why I skipped it.
Yeah. Number 8, I have Wing Commander.
Oh, boy.
Mm-hmm. Now, that is a space film featuring the great acting duo of Freddie Prinze Jr. and Matthew Lillard. One of 3 times that they've starred in films together. I don't know if you're aware of this.
It doesn't surprise me, but no, what are the other ones?
Summer Catch. Remember Summer Catch?
Not at all.
Yeah, with Jessica Biel. And what was the other one? Fuck. Oh, she's of course she's all that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, number 7. I have Street Fighter.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Directed by Stephen E. D'Souza.
We love him.
Yeah, we love him.
We love him at the franchise.
Starring Jean-Claude Van Damme as Colonel Guile and the late Raul Julia in his final film appearance. He looks like he's going to die any second in this movie as the main villain, M. Bison. And We'll cover that for the podcast at some point.
Yeah.
Because there was a belated sequel that I have not seen.
Oh, and by the way, did you notice that, like, I think while we were recording our last show, someone else died famous? Continuing our trend.
Tobe Hooper?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. And Jerry Lewis, of course.
Right. But Tobe Hooper, director of Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Poltergeist.
Yeah, we'll cover him. We'll cover him a lot down the line.
Yeah.
A great filmmaker. Okay, number 6, I have Double Dragon. Okay?
Yeah, I used to love that video game when I was a kid.
That's kind of a fun bad movie.
Okay.
Yeah, Scott Wolf is in it, and
that doesn't mean anything to me. I don't know who that is.
I just remember there's a character named Abobo, and I love him.
Mm-hmm.
Abobo, he's this big monster. Okay, number 5. These are top 5 non-Resident Evil video game movies.
Okay, you still haven't said one. I'm amazed. All right, go ahead.
Number 5 is Lara Croft, Tomb Raider.
Oh wow, yeah. I never saw any of those.
I didn't see the sequel.
Yeah,
we'll cover it. They're making a new Tomb Raider movie now. I think Alicia Vikander is playing Lara Croft.
Yeah, she'd fit.
Yeah. But that's a pretty boring movie, that first Tomb Raider. Simon West, I believe, directed it from Con Air fame.
Oh, yeah.
And it's got a couple good set pieces. John Voight's in it, and he's good, but that's about it.
I love Con Air.
Yeah, me too.
That movie about the blow dryer.
Sure.
That's an old David Letterman joke.
Oh, that's good. Number 4 is Mortal Kombat Annihilation, the second one.
Okay.
All right. A lot of actors have been, a lot of characters have been recast from the first one, but it's got some fun action sequences. Sub-Zero fights Scorpion. It's very video gamey and silly.
Yeah, I love that video game too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3. Have I still not said the one you want me to?
Nope.
Really?
I don't think you're even thinking of it then. You must have missed it because there's no way that it would be this high on your list. So.
What the fuck is it?
Super Mario Brothers.
All right, well, let me keep going.
Okay.
Number 3 is Doom.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay.
It's by that guy that directed U.S. Marshals, I think. Am I wrong?
Oh, really?
That?
I don't know. That's funny.
I might be wrong. And it's got that great fun last sequence where it's all a first-person shooter, and The Rock is in it, and he's always good. And it's got that dude who plays Bones in the Star Trek movies. It's an alright movie.
Oh, Carl Urban.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number 2, Super Mario Brothers. I love Super Mario Brothers, the movie. I've watched it in recent years. It bears no resemblance to the game. I don't care. It is a minor masterpiece of pure insanity. Okay.
I never saw it. I am still assuming it's garbage, but I guess you think it's fun garbage.
But it's garbage, but I can talk about something that's going on in every second of that movie.
Oh,
it's just so crazy. You know how Ryan Rebalkin has that podcast just about the Rocky movies?
Yes.
I can have a podcast just about the Super Mario Brothers movie.
That was with Bob Hoskins, right?
Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo as Mario and Luigi. Dennis Hopper as King Koopa.
Oh, my God.
It's a masterpiece.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.
And my number 1 non-Resident Evil video game movie is the first Mortal Kombat movie, written and directed by Paul W.S. Anderson. So Paul W.S. Anderson has basically made the 7 best video game movies.
I want to see Paul W.S. Anderson do Soul Calibur.
I'd love it. I wish he'd do anything. He should do
Flight Simulator.
He should do Halo. He should do whatever. Metal Gear Solid. Let him have it. Do Battletoads. Let him do Earthworm Jim. Let
now we weren't counting board games in this, right?
No.
They do Battleship.
Listen, if we're talking board games,
I know what you're
the masterpiece of all masterpieces is Clue.
Right. I just wanted you to mention Battleship.
Sure, the Peter Berg Battleship. That doesn't count.
What an idea.
Yeah. Man, what is the best board game adaptation that's not Clue?
Life with Jake Gyllenhaal.
That's a good one. No.
I don't know if they've adapted Sorry yet.
No, I don't believe so.
They could do Monopoly.
They could do Hungry Hungry Hippos. I believe Monopoly is in the works. I really think so.
Yeah.
I mean, what else is there? Are there? I'm gonna look this up right now, right before we wrap up. Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
Henry, in the meantime, what are we covering next week?
We are beginning another mammoth behemoth of a franchise called The Fast and the Furious.
That's right.
None of which, again, I have never seen any of them.
I have seen the first one and parts of the second one, and that's it. And people tell me these last 5, maybe 4 or 5, are real gems. So,
really?
Yeah, so that's why I've been wanting to watch these for a while, and we're finally here. So next week we'll be covering Rob Cohen's The Fast and the Furious. Speaking of Reign of Fire, and
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
Yeah. And also John Singleton's Too Fast, Too Furious.
Oh, he did that one.
Yeah,
okay.
so we'll get to talk about John Singleton.
That'll be interesting. That'll be fun then. All right. Yeah, that'll be more fun probably than the movies themselves. No, I shouldn't say that. I haven't seen them yet.
I can't find a list of movies based on board games.
That's not that surprising. There's probably not much of a list.
Yeah, it's a good point. Does Lego count?
I don't know.
The Lego movie was all right.
Yeah, that's not really a book. I don't know, man. I don't know if you'd count that. That's more of a toy.
I guess that's
true. Like Transformers, so that kind of thing.
Here we go. There's Battleship. There's Clue. There was Dungeons and Dragons. That movie was shitty.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. There's Ouija.
The famous family fun game Ouija.
Yeah. Did you enjoy that movie? I bet you saw that. No?
I saw one of them. Yeah. I don't remember anything about it, so probably not. I saw one. There's a few Ouija movies. Quite a few.
There's a direct-to-video Candyland animated movie.
Oh.
Yeah. And, I think I might be out.
We're not counting card games, because, of course, we could have a lot of Texas Hold'em games there.
Are there movies based on Texas Hold'em?
Rounders.
That's true. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. All right.
All right.
That's it. That's
it, folks.
Mm-hmm. So come back next week for The Fast and the Furious and Too Fast, Too Furious. In the meantime, hey, did you want to talk about that iTunes review?
Yes, we had a review last week from somebody going by the name of what was it? The Great Kisser.
A Great Kisser.
A Great Kisser. And we were having trouble figuring out when she wrote, or he, hopefully she for us, she wrote that she wrote Nick is a fool, and we didn't understand what was going on. And I looked at it more carefully, and she was referencing the guy Nick who wrote us our only negative review.
Right.
And I just wanted to clarify that. So thank you, Great Kisser, Good Kisser. Sorry.
I think it shows that we super didn't give a shit about that bad review. So
yeah,
I think it works well. So
it is. It's nice fodder for everyone else to look at.
Sure. So
kind of glad it's up there.
Please leave us a 5-star or even a 1-star rating or review on iTunes. We really need those fuckers.
Yeah, guys, we didn't see any increase in that this week, so get on the horse,
Yeah,
fellas.
get it going.
Get it going. And I also need to respond to a Twitter. Who was that? Was that Zach Taylor? About my
Oh, sure. Yeah, Zach Taylor.
one of our, I think, longtime listener, right?
Yeah.
Great guy. Said that I missed a superhero with Billy Crudup in Alien Covenant by not saying Dr. Manhattan. So I take this seriously, Zach. I went back and I listened to that portion of the show, and when I was listing Billy Crudup, I said he will be playing Barry Allen, the Flash's dad, in an upcoming DC film, and I was just about to say, and of course he was also in Watchmen as Dr. Manhattan, but Dan didn't really interrupt me, but finished my thought and said, of course he's Dr. Manhattan in that. So I did not forget, and it's in my notes, actually, so there you go. But I didn't actually say it. Dan did. So there you go,
Yeah,
Zach.
you happy you got us to talk about that shitty Watchmen movie again? Someone wanted us to talk about that. I don't remember who.
Well, I don't know how we really could. Didn't we already talk about it?
No. Someone, because the DC comic books now are folding the Watchmen characters into regular DC continuity.
Oh.
And so people wanted to know if it's possible that we might have a film with Billy Crudup playing two different characters.
Well, maybe it's Zach Taylor who said it. Who knows?
Maybe.
Oh, that would be lots of fun. I would love to see DC fuck up even more.